Actually, in continuation, we want to go for the tools that we have in actually panel navigate or navigation bar. There's no difference between them. I will use here because you can see it better. So the first tool is pan. That by clicking on this, you can actually move the screen. And for example, you have to be careful that the coordination of the elements actually is not changed. Just you're moving the screen here to see it better. And it can be placed in the location better. So to get out of this actually command, you can go and select, click on it, Control 1 even, or for example navigation bar, for example, you can click on select again. So this command will be dismissed. So actually after it, we'll go for the tools that are existing in a list of zoom. So the first one is zoom window. By clicking on this option, actually the shape of the mouse cursor will be like a magnifier in here, and by click dragging or opening a kind of window or selection, actually you can just move inside the area that you want and you can make it bigger, and for example every part that you want. Yes, by actually using zoom in or zoom out, if you click on them, you can just click on one point of the screen and just by moving the mouse cursor to backward or forward, you can have zooming in or zooming out like this. Yes, you have to be careful that every point that you click by mouse cursor, you will see a green sphere. It is exactly the point of view for focusing. Yes, or for example, rotating point or zooming point. For example, every movement will happen based on this point. If you keep the mouse roller, actually, you can see it as a kind of pan. Yes, work by it as a kind of pan. Zoom selected actually is practical for us. The time that, for example, you click on an object and you want to zooming in, exactly it will be zoomed in to that object. You know, I will just click on zoom out. Let me click on it. Just you will click on an object. You will go on view cube and you will just click on one of the corners. Exactly, it will be zoom selected. Yes, like this. So let me come out, get a little back. You know, the last one is zoom all of the elements actually will be shown to you, will be displayed in your environment. Exactly, all of them will be zoomed as big as possible and you can see them as a kind of work environment. So you know, sometimes it could be inside that, for example, the work that or area that we're seeing, that some of these elements are out of our views, so it will show us all of the elements that we need as the big size as possible. So if actually you've opened views like plan and section, that before I told you that in tab of view in this part you can actually activate these options actually in here. You can come here. Let me just activate them to have the bar in here. We'll talk about it later. You know, right now actually you can actually go on the triangle symbol and you can just click it to control it. Yes, you know, in here, it's here, you see you can move through it by click dragging. Let me just bring it down. You see this is controllable, or for example, if you want to see it from this elevation, it is like this. You see, let me just go more forward like this. Right click, update, right click. Just let's bring it down. Let me right click, update. You know, you can just see and control the different options and we can simulate them for ourselves. I can click again on home to that it is returned to the default. If you just want to dismiss this command, you can go and select or control 1. Like that, this command is dismissed.